Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, this is Those Guys with your host, Matt Marrero, along with your other host,
Anthony Sinandris.
And today we're doing another Friday Night Movies. This time, Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yay.
That's the right response. If not, boo. Harder boo. Softer yay, harder boo. So we're doing Rise of the Silver Surfer. It made more money than we thought it made, right? Because we're looking at this movie, right? It came out in 2007. The budget was $130 million. It made $289 million. However, Fox looked at this and thought, oh no, it didn't make as much money as the previous, and that's why we didn't get a third film. I'm sorry, everybody. So fucking sorry.
Sorry you didn't get to see Mole Man on the big screen.
Was that what they were going for, you think?
I don't know, but I'm only assuming that's all they had left.
I mean, yeah, the fact that you fucking, like, they could have literally, I know that it's not good to set up movies on a cliffhanger, and this was before we had stuff like Avengers going on, which was just like, listen, I know it feels like the end, but really, there's like a Thanos guy coming along, right? But I still feel like it would have been really interesting had they ended this movie on a setup for a Galactus fight next movie. Where, because in my head, I'm sitting there, I'm looking at the end of the movie, and I'm going, guys, you had to have had no budget left. Like, there's no way you could have had room in the budget. And, like, no, like, you had nothing left, and you were just like, yeah, this is why Galactus is a fucking cloud. No, because, like, there's literally no way, like, I would have preferred Surfer talking to a fucking projection of Galactus, being furious.
Yeah.
And then setting up, like, it's like, I'm actually coming to Earth to kill you all now. Oh, no. I know, like, that would have made this movie not as dramatic because Galactus wouldn't have actually been to Earth, right? Like, he wouldn't have really...
Yeah, but visually it would have been so much better.
And then you would have saved all your Galactus budget for this movie. Well, for what would have been the third movie.
I'm not even questioning their Galactus budget. Couldn't they have honestly just gotten some Discovery Channel footage of, like, some kind of space stuff and just thrown it in there?
I don't know. I know. You're just trying to. I know you're trying to sit there and go, listen, man. It had to. But remember, think about this. 2007. So everything that they did, even if someone can sit there and go, it didn't look that good. It cost money.
I know.
You know. You know, bad CGI back then cost more than bad CGI does now. Like, today it feels like you can make Galactus and Surfer for about $1.50.
Probably.
And make it look great. Not actual numbers, but I'm sure relatively close compared to the $130 million.
Yeah, just $1 off.
Yeah, right. But seriously, though, yeah, this movie overall, I have to be honest, as many movies that we do on our Friday Night Movies podcasts, this movie was not as bad as people said. However, last podcast, right, the first Fantastic Four movie, I said, oh, this movie is not as bad as people said, and frankly, there are some good moments in it. This one, while not being as bad as everyone said, there are some horrible moments in it. Like, it's as if it was just really like the bizarro Fantastic Four. Like, not as bad, but the moments that dragged it down to hell, and I think made people go, this is the worst movie ever, aren't overreactions. They're only 1 to 2 scenes, but they aren't overreactions in a way. Like, I'm not going to say this is the worst movie ever, so in a way it sounds like I'm disagreeing, but I understand where people are coming from. I feel their pain. I mean, You told me about the Doom thing from the last podcast we did, and I didn't understand it, and I saw it in this movie, and it was the worst thing they could have ever done. No, there could definitely be worse. But it was still really, really bad because there was no point in any of it.
Of course not.
Especially so soon. If this was, if this was the movie 4, right? And people, because look, all right, let's be honest here, right? Talking about DC for a second. Lex Luthor became fucking president, everyone. Hell, let's talk about Marvel for a second. Let's go back to this universe. Fucking Norman Osborn. That's all I have to say, right? So clearly, sometimes really stupid shit happens, and people in universe don't talk about it. But Victor Von Doom being an asshole, it was way too soon, I think, to have this military go, no, we trust him. And then leave him somewhat unsupervised, like without any chains or shackles or anything. So overall, it was such a stupid decision. Now, it led up to something glorious. I think Dr. Doom being on the surfboard, well, I don't know if that can actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
Since I feel in my head, I'm pretty sure you need clearance for that from Surfer. But if that is allowed, like in other words, if anyone using the board can have the power of the board, fuck yeah, that was an amazing master plan. The problem is that the master plan relied heavily, and I'm sure you can agree, on the incompetence of this military.
Basically.
Also, military, huge jerks, which made me sit back and go, guess they're not getting funding from the military in this movie. Because I don't know if you know this, Transformers got huge funding for portraying the military in such a positive light.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And then once, because in the first movie, right, portrayed very well. In the later movies, when the military-type organization was being rude to Optimus Prime and all the other Autobots, if you noticed, they weren't the U.S. military anymore. They were a subsection group. I'm pretty sure, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they changed organizations once they started becoming dickbags.
Pretty much, yeah. They became Nest.
Yes, instead of being Marine Corps, you know? So, Semper Fi. That's Marines. We're the Army. Oh.
I didn't want to say it, so thank you for saying it.
Yeah, I love that line because I have a friend in Marines. My dad was in the Marines, so like hearing Semper Fi, and it's just like, that's the Marine Corps. We're the Army. Oh, it's like whoops. So yeah. By the way, right? I do think there was some good character depth in this film. I do think it was great to see some of the characters in Johnny grow. Seeing him and Ben while they mess around, there's still some camaraderie there, and seeing them really bond as a family.
Mm-hmm.
The problem was that the family drama was forced. We didn't need drama to have that growth, you know?
Mm-hmm. Just
Johnny and this woman, who apparently is Nova, by the way. In case anyone doesn't know, she's Nova. So Johnny and this woman, I think, was enough to kind of have that arc going, you know, that and of course I'm thinking who else? Ben, not so much with Ben going on, really, sadly, in this film. But it's okay, because, again, we had Johnny. It's funny. We had the film focus on Johnny's arc, but, strangely enough, not solely on Johnny. Like, I feel like the first movie was the Johnny movie.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of showcasing how funny he can be. This one, I do think that they gave everyone in the cast enough time to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it wasn't just, even though they gave Johnny the biggest fucking plot line of, you can transfer our powers and you need to stop being an asshole, even though they gave him all that, he didn't really, like, they didn't focus on him 24/7, in my opinion, compared to the first film.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel the same?
Absolutely. I mean, I was a bit worried at the beginning of the film when, the thing is, I was worried, but it made sense, because the whole chase sequence, I think it was, like, during or after the wedding, when Silver Surfer first arrived and Johnny was the one chasing him throughout the city.
Yes.
First off, I thought that was my favorite scene of the movie, and second, I was a bit worried, like, is Johnny going to take center stage again? But then I thought, no, this makes sense. He's the only one that could probably chase him.
Yeah, no, who else can fly?
Exactly, but then when Surfer, like, touched him and kind of didn't take away his powers, but turned them off for a bit, I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. There were times this movie, because this is a movie before people, even with expanded universes now, you can still kill off a villain and no one gives a fuck other than all the fans. They give a fuck. So, literally, just other than everyone going, please don't. So this was a series, this was back when, even though it's only back in 2007, still, this is before you could think like, oh, no, these people are viable. Like, we need to keep them alive. So I sat there and I was like, Johnny's dead. Then later on, I literally thought Sue was dead. And I was like, oh, how did you think you were going to make a 3? But then Sue lived because of alien space magic. Seriously, so pissed that they didn't even take a fucking second to go, I'm sorry? No, they just all stood there and they were like, of course. Fucking physicist Reed Richards. It makes perfect sense. Shut the fuck up. Literally, all you needed was some bullshit Doctor Who scientific explanation. Wow, he reversed the polarity of her neutron flow. Thank you so much, Reed. Now let's go back to this shit with Silver Surfer. It's all I fucking needed. But no, she was dead, and then she just wasn't. And then he's just like, take care. And I was fucking furious.
Have you thought about maybe just doing commentary for the entire fucking movie?
No, it can be impossible. Just see the two of you, you and me, the two of you being me and you. Apparently there are more of me now. Don't worry, it can be a thing. You just got to come over, man. You got to come over more often.
Okay.
All right, but this was shit. At least the ending.
Yeah.
Oh man. So anyway, but how was because you told me you didn't like this film, but how bad? Like, how much did you not like it? Do you not like it the way everyone else doesn't, or is there does it hold a place in your heart, potentially clogging your arteries? Where?
The two things that I liked about this movie were the Silver Surfer and Doom's whole master plan. Those are my two things that I liked about the movie. Other than that, I could not stand this movie.
Okay.
It's not that I hate it, I just think it was so wasted potential at the end.
Yes, most definitely. You know what's funny? I don't know if people complained about Silver Surfer, as in his character or who played him. I loved Lawrence Fishburne as Silver Surfer. I saw, it was so weird though, because I don't know, maybe it's because Silver Surfer is a completely CGI'd character, or at least body model character. I don't like that they tried to promote the fact that it's Lawrence Fishburne doing it in the way that they did. I don't know how the trailers, I don't remember how the trailers at the time promoted it. If they were and Lawrence Fishburne, remember Lawrence Fishburne, I don't know if those were the trailers at the time. But just fucking watching the movie itself, in the credits in the beginning, you know who everyone is, and then it's just in huge fucking lettering, by the way, covered half of thing. Just Lawrence Fishburne as the Silver Surfer. And I was like, that's a name I didn't expect, but okay. But yeah, he was a great Silver Surfer. They did him so well. His character well. Whenever he spoke, it just felt right. I really enjoyed what they were doing with him. However, I will say this much, though. His change of heart, while I enjoy it because I knew it was coming, or we should know it's coming, was somewhat out of nowhere. I mean, yes, the woman reminded... it's interesting that, yes, she reminded him of the one that he loves. It is a Silver Surfer thing to have happen, to be fair, which I'm pretty sure many people can tell me straight up that's exactly how it happened. Stop complaining. But it's just in the context of this movie, it's kind of just he looks at her. You remind me of the woman that I love. No other planet has reminded me of that at all. In fact, I mean, the woman that I love isn't screaming as her world is burning. So none of the other planets that I've destroyed ever reminded me. But this one, you speaking words, it moves me the way she moves me. Not like those other, stupid people that kept on screaming, "Oh my God!" when the world was destroyed. Well, maybe if you got to talk to people on other planets, maybe they also would have moved you.
Holy shit, that scream took me off guard. Oh my God.
Do you imagine that coming out of his mouth?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. But it's just because he's so quiet and he just screams. I enjoyed when in the beginning of the movie they were making these subtle references to a Fantastijet. It's really the Fantastic car, but it didn't turn into a car in this movie, so it was just the jet, sadly. The Fantastijet, I was sitting there and I was so happy. I was sitting back going, oh, this is nice. I hope we do see that one day. And then we got it at the end of the movie. Oh, hell, it was even under the, what's it called? It was under, well, was that? No, that wasn't what was under the sheet. It was whatever machine he had to make for the military, right? Because because at one point it looked like he had jets underneath the cloth or whatever, you know, like the, whatever you want to call it. It looked like they were jets, and I was like, were those and then they weren't. By the way, happy that Thing was still with Alicia, because when it was Thing, Reed, and Johnny, for some odd reason, even though Thing wasn't talking to any of the women, I was so worried. I was like, please don't tell me they broke them up because drama.
Mhm.
And then they didn't. They showed them later, and I was so happy. I was like, oh, thank God, you two are still together.
Speaking of that, I'm really glad they took the moment to show off Reed's amazing dance skills.
I actually have that in my notes right here. How did people not like paying just to watch Reed dance? How is this not, when they thought of Rise of the Silver Surfer, like, why was it not, you know, I think people sat back and they were sitting there going, come on, Surfer, really? Why not Rise of the Richards dance skills? I mean, come on. Like, look at that.
Seriously.
Oh, by the way, the fact that Doom just woke up, like, I would have been happy, I think, if Doom had already been shown doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that, like, you just see him in the mansion, it's like, boom, he wakes up, like, really? Took you that fucking long? This isn't the next day. This is months later. Have you just been hibernating? What the fuck are you doing?
Seriously.
But seriously, though, yeah, I don't think people liked paying in theaters. Remember, we always have to think of the moviegoer experience. Having to sit in a theater and go, so I paid to watch Reed. That CG, think about it. CGI went to him dancing. For fuck's sakes.
I know.
We could have allocated some of those funds, even though I assume those are a lot easier to do.
Galactus' thumb.
Yeah, his thumb. That's literally it. Maybe his hand. Just his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can even understand if you were only going to show his head and not show the rest of his body, because he's that large, and it's just not in shot.
Mm-hmm.
I would have respected that. Anyway, oh, by the way, so yeah, starting off my problems with Doom, takes the mask off. No fucking mask, because, and apparently, right, at least when it first started, Dr. Doom is fucking Darth Sidious. What the flying fuck?
I know.
I was so mad, just let the hate flow through you. Like, are you fucking serious? By the way, it wasn't my Darth Sidious. That was my Doom. From the movie.
I literally remember sitting in the theater, and my friend was just like, wrong movie, dude.
Basically. Now, had it been my comic book impression, it would be like, let the Doom flow through Doom.
Jesus
but it's my... let the Doom flow through Doom. But seriously, yeah, no, I got it pissed. Because at first it's like, okay, you're fucking Darth Sidious. Then you're fine, right? You're not... Because the thing is, Doom's plan made sense, but his character arc did not.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense that it's just like, you just woke up now, out of nowhere. You meet Silver Surfer, makes sense. He hits you. You're not metal anymore. Thank God, got retconned. Fucking thank you. We're all saved from shit, right? But then it feels like, oh, I can take off the mask. I look just fine, which is completely against, like, his character's motivations. Like, if he had at least gotten a scar or something during the movie and then put on the mask again, it would have been okay. But he's not masked throughout the movie. I assume someone would say, but he's going undercover. If he wore the mask, he would look evil.
Yeah.
Which is accurate. But still, later on, you know, he puts on the mask again, and it's like, you know, the problem is that it's not like Green Goblin's mask. You know what I mean? This mask, the reason why he wears the mask is because of his physical deformity, which really isn't something to wear a mask over. It's not Phantom of the Opera. It's actually just a tiny little cut. Such a small scar, right? But he's so vain that he puts on the mask. It's not like he needs it to be a supervillain. Technically, he still had, what was so weird, too, is that apparently touching Surfer helped him with the deformities, but it did not take away his powers.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't Metal Man anymore. He wasn't Iron Man. But at the same time, it's really more of a metal alloy. But this problem is that he didn't really, like...
It's vibranium.
It's vibranium? Well, we don't have vibranium here. Okay.
Well,
we don't have vibranium, do we? Are we allowed to? Wait. Wait a minute.
So.
No. I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. No, let me explain. In Fantastic Four, we can't. And in X-Men, we can't. But in Marvel, we can.
Mhm.
Right? So so Captain America's shield is made of vibranium, right?
Mhm.
But Wolverine can't be.
No.
Okay.
He's always been adamantium, so.
Fair point. But I'm referring to, damn it, not him then. Who am I thinking of? What I feel like in my head though, one of the like not the X-Men, just like the actual like metal adamantium to your skin. I feel like was one of them vibranium?
I'm not sure.
Something inside me tells me that something transferred off like, well, this one is made out of vibranium. How do you fix that, Wolverine? How do you fight that shit? And that was the new villain of the month. Anyway. So yeah, my fucking note. Oh no, Reed and Sue can't get married because the Earth is gonna explode? What can the Fantastic Four do about this? And then, like, completely just, like, punching me in the face, just, oh shit, never mind, things got serious real quick. Because it started off as like, oh no, and then, boom, fucking we have Johnny following Surfer around, not even the city, it was around the world, because they're supposed to be in New York, but they went to some really interesting sites.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this sounds so fucking nitpicky. Johnny passed that guy in full flame form, did not kill him.
You know what's the best thing?
What?
I have the same thing written down. I literally wrote nitpick number 1.
Good God.
Johnny did not burn passerby.
I'm not saying he should have. I'm not saying I want the third movie to be Johnny's court case, but I'm just saying, guys. Oh, by the way, so it's been a while since I read some Silver Surfer, and even when I did, I mostly have read the newer Silver Surfer where he's in space anyway. Can Surfer go through buildings like that?
Fairly certain he can.
Okay, perfect. We're good there. By the way, you can't be based on an old comic book without some good old-fashioned racism. The depiction of Middle Eastern people. I was like, okay, guys, that's not offensive except to everyone. But okay. Yeah, but they're in America, not where they flew. Johnny was not in America. There were no deserts like that in America. I swear to God, though, if they filmed that in America, I'd be so pissed.
I know.
Yeah. By the way, so I don't know if I'm more mad that Reed Richards, the physicist, coined the name Silver Surfer, or that it's kind of like, you know what? Yeah, you are a physicist. You totally are not a fucking writer. Stick to your fucking day job. Like, I don't know what they were going for there.
I honestly think it would have made more sense for Johnny to call him Silver Surfer.
I think maybe they were trying to imply that Johnny did call him that, and he was just reiterating, like, right, that Silver Surfer. But it sounded like Johnny was describing him. You know, he's silver, and he's on a surfboard. Reed, the Silver Surfer. Nah, can't even defend that one, man. So that was, oh, by the way, another thing, too. Naming the movie, Rise of the Silver Surfer. Bad name.
Oh, terrible.
I don't know what else you could have called this. But, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, Galactus, eat Earth now. But I think that would have been better than Rise of the Silver Surfer, because it came off as like, oh, the Silver Surfer's the bad guy? Hell, he was the one promoted because all they had was a fucking cloud creature. So literally they promote Silver Surfer so much, you think the movie's about him being the villain, in a way. And then it's like, oh, no, Galactus is there-ish. Kind of.
Sort of.
Yeah. So it kind of made you feel like, because I don't know, when I hear the words Rise of the Silver Surfer, in a way I'm sure it's trying to double, be a double entendre, double itself in the sense that it's trying to say, oh, Silver Surfer is not a villain anymore. He's rising up, right? But in a way it comes off as like Silver Surfer with his empire of surfers. So, yeah, by the way, Stan Lee, my name is Stan Lee. Yeah, okay, guy. No, wait, it really is. So I have a question. Do you think Doom looked worse here or in the 2015 movie?
Oh, God.
It's hard, right?
It's interesting because as much as I hated him in this one, a hell of a lot better than 2015.
Okay, because I've only seen it in pictures. I actually haven't seen the film yet, so I don't know.
You're lucky. Yeah, in the 2015, he kind of just looks like a Doom bot covered in moss.
What if in the sequel we would have learned he was a Doom bot?
You know, I wouldn't even be fucking surprised at this point.
Well, we would have learned. Not anymore. That's done. That's never coming back. Anyway, so, okay. The clothes thing had to happen again. Now, again, am I a fan of Alba? Yes. Do I think she looks great? Yes. But again, like it's just, I don't know if it happened in the newer film, but it feels like it's too much, you know?
Yeah.
I do like that the powers transferred over, though. I mean, look, the scene made sense. It's just that it turned into like, oh no. Like, I don't know, in my head I feel like they should have the suits on underneath them 24/7. So I was thinking like, oh, it's going to burn off and we're going to have the Fantastic Four suit, and I'm sitting there going, no, we're fucking not. Even though they're superheroes that have been doing this for a decent amount of time at this point, heaven forbid their spandex suits are on underneath their real clothing.
Matt, this is a 20th Century Fox Fantastic Four movie. Let's lower the expectations just a little bit.
I love how that's a fucking standard now. Not even like because 20th Century Fox has had some great films, but the idea of like 20th Century Fox Fantastic Four movie, like you don't even have to be a Fantastic Four movie
to
be at that level.
Films. None of them have been the Fantastic Four.
Good God. Okay. So, good God. Anyway, I was frustrated that Doom may be doing something evil, but nobody stops him. Hell, he barely had any interaction with the woman that he wanted to marry. Like, at least, like, he was being kind of a jerk, but it's as if they even forgot the plot. Like, in a way, I could accept this as a reboot. And it sounds stupid, but in the way that they did, the way that Ghost Rider was quote-unquote rebooted, or other sequels had like 2009 Hulk versus 2003 Hulk, and the way that they've been quote-unquote rebooted but had some stuff transfer over, it just, in a way, this film felt like a reboot. Now, it clearly wasn't. It's a sequel. Duh.
Yeah.
But it felt like a reboot in the way that's just like, you have fucking Doom not even talking to Sue. And when she does, it's about Reed. It's like, Doom, we get it. You have a kind of a metallic hard-on for Reed. Very metal, though. Not metal like metal, more like ding.
Thank you for the elaboration on that.
Right, of course, if anyone's confused. And that in no way is trying to say it's a problem, right? I mean, I'm sure there has to be people that ship fucking Doom and Reed. But the point is that, like, my point is just that, are you ready for Doom? Anyway, so, good God, he stretches. Anyway, the point is that what really matters, right? What really matters out of all of this is that in no way are we trying to sit here and be like, that's a bad thing. It's just the idea that he has, like, it's to the point when he's talking to the woman that he was about to marry. And he's just like, what's Reed doing? Like, I know some people might say, no, he's trying to get into her head, like, oh, yeah, that inferior man. But in a way, it's kind of like, what's Reed doing? Is he talking about me? He actually hasn't mentioned you once. Come on, don't play that game. What is he saying?
Oh, my God.
Because, but don't tell him that I asked, though, because I don't want him to know.
Oh, my God.
Okay, you can tell him, but, like, don't exaggerate. Just say that, Doom brought it up, like, whatever Reed's been doing.
This is going on.
Does he still have the same number? Anyway, what were you going to...
So this is going on I was saying this is going on for quite a while.
No, I paused because it was just him thinking, like, still have the same number? Is that what that is? But anyway.
Has he ever mentioned me late at night while you two are asleep?
Does he ever wake up from a fever dream and say Doom? Because I don't.
I really don't think we have anywhere else to go after that. So.
Doom loves puns, apparently. Though, in a way, I can't feel like comic book Doom wouldn't have said, take this for a spin. Like, he would not. Like, he would have said that. Because I want to complain. How, really? Doom's going to say, let's take this for a spin. Right, later on in the movie. But I sat back and I thought, I can see comic book Doom doing it too, though.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm a little
Definitely.
upset. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Because you want to complain about puns when they're not people like Spider-Man or Johnny making them, or Deadpool. But it's like, kind of felt, yeah. Okay, so I have a question for you. The wall that crashing into Reed.
Yeah.
Did that feel like it was a bit overkill? Hilarious scene.
Oh, it felt completely overkill to me.
Now, mind you, I love it. Like, I felt like it was hilarious, and I did enjoy the scene. But by doing that, and sounds so nitpicky, right? It made them feel, like, overpowered. Like, I know that they're fucking superheroes, right? But it made them feel like they're immortal instead of just being super.
Yeah.
And I say that because that thing came crashing so hard that it flew, like, Ben flew, of all people. Thing flew and broke the wall. Again, of all people, even when he's just like, Dad, it hurt. Right? Like, it really felt like he was hurt. And then behind him, experiencing, because you think, oh, yeah, that must have hurt Thing. All of that force hitting Mr. Fantastic, i.e. Reed, like, I don't know, and also the fact that he looked fragmented. I was sitting there and I'm like, oh, because in a way it's like you want, like, even Superman, right? Superman looks strong, but what do? You bring in someone who's even stronger than him. In this movie, in a way, it felt like we had no antagonist, and I think that's the biggest complaint of this movie, is that Doom was a secondary villain to Galactus. At least we thought that was going to be the case, because Galactus, head villain, Surfer, not necessarily villain, misunderstood, and then in second place is Doom. But Doom barely served as an antagonist. He was really only relevant in the last 5 minutes, and then was easily disposed of, in my opinion at least, easily, once everyone gave Johnny their powers. Cool scene, by the way. Awkward, but cool. Like, I would have preferred something different, because, again, it turned into, like, the Johnny movie. But anyway, so also the fact that even though, this movie felt like it had no time, like, in a good way, it had no time to have a cure found for Johnny, because it's like, oh, no, we need to worry about this guy trying to kill the Earth and everything. Am I right, guys? Right? But at the same time, it does, in a way, feel like Reed didn't try.
Yeah.
Because in the first movie, it was like, Ben, we're going to find a cure. Johnny, sit tight, buddy. Aw, buddy. You sit tight. I would pet your hair right now, but I don't want to touch you. So, yeah, it was very, it kind of, again, I'm happy that everyone got time, but in a way it felt like they gave Johnny some of the most interesting, the most interesting dilemma, and then didn't focus on it. Like, don't give him the problem if you're not going to focus on it. But anyway, so Doom, was not there for, he was there, but again, he was whatever the fuck. And then, so he was disposed of. And then it's just like, great, so we get to deal with the main villain, the one who really mattered, who was supposed to matter, the guy eating the fucking planet. And then he didn't. And everyone just gave this collective sigh. And it was just, yeah.
I think you perfectly described everybody that sat in the theater.
I mean, did people boo? I feel like people booed.
I think a few did.
Good God.
One guy literally went, fuck this shit.
It's accurate.
And he just got off and left.
My God. I wouldn't have left because I paid money for that shit, but I understand wanting to leave, though. Yeah, so... oh, by the way, the design for Doom, even though I'm okay with the dark, just a dark green.
Yeah.
Like, it was just all black, and I'm like, guys, he's green. St. Patrick's Day, guys. Oh, no, they know we're filming this in advance now. Oh, no.
They didn't until you said it.
Oh, no. Well, shit. Anyway, I've stopped caring. About this show overall. The only thing I care about is that if I offended anyone in the LGBT community is if I was making fun of a potential relationship between Reed and Doom. That's all I care about. So I apologize if I offended anyone. That's really all I care about. Other than that, fuck this entire film.
I just love the fact that from now on, whenever someone listens, like, he doesn't give a shit. He just doesn't fucking give a shit.
Yeah, about this film, yes. Oh, by the way, I have a question for you. Well, actually, did you like... I said that I liked Doom riding the board. Did you enjoy that?
I thought it was awesome as hell.
Okay, question, though. I don't know why, but Doom riding the board to me, at least at first, the first clip of it, looks so fucking funny. I don't know if it's the CGI they used at the time, but I laughed way too hard. Just, Doom on board now with Doom!
I definitely think it's the CGI.
Okay. Because I laughed way too hard. It was like, Doom on board now. But yeah, good God. Oh, yeah, so Surfer, by the way, like, okay, so the scene with Sue taking the hit for Surfer, that infuriated me because I know that she's a hero, but, like, Surfer isn't a child. Surfer is a motherfucking alien, dude. Like, he could have taken that, like, even though he didn't have the board, so he couldn't have gone half and half, right? Like, he couldn't have actually had the matter go through him. He could fucking take that.
Yeah.
But Sue gets hit, and I'm sitting there like, look, I understand you guys are heroes, but really? Like, he's not a defenseless... Like, in a way, it felt condescending. Like, oh, no, you can't even... No, he's just an alien. He can't defend himself. No, he's on Earth now. I've traveled to hundreds of planets throughout the solar system. Oh, no. Poor silver alien. Oh, no. I completely misunderstand what you're trying to... I've mastered the board. Oh, no. Like, so fucking condescending in a way. Like, he just can't save himself. Poor little guy. Yeah. So anyway, did you enjoy Johnny getting all of the powers? Because I think it was such a mix of cool and stupid.
I remember just sitting there thinking, this looks amazing. And then when I had time to press the movie, I'm like, it looked amazing. But that was where all the amazing went, because it was stupid.
Yeah, it's you know what it is too? I thought what it would have been cool, even though I understand that it might seem a bit convoluted, I think it would have been cool to have had let's say Doom looking at Richards, right? Or at least Thing. Maybe one of... It's funny because I know, like, at this point Sue was still sort of dead, so it was very hard to do what, for any of them to do anything. But still, I think it would have been cool to have just been like, wait a minute. Like, let's say look at Thing, and he's normal looking. Wait a minute. What happened to you? How did you... All of a sudden he can shoot fire? Just throwing off Doom with their powers. Like, because I think that's what it would have been cool. Throwing off Doom with their powers because Doom thinks, Richards, you're going to stretch. Not exactly. Wait a minute, what are you doing? Johnny stretches and punches him in the face or some shit. Like, Thing would have been invisible the entire time. Some shit like that. Like, I know, like, it sounds silly in a certain way, but I just feel like that would have been preferred, to me at least, story-wise. The idea of Doom being so arrogant, he knows them, he thinks he knows them, not exactly, Doom, right? Versus, it's this one, with all their powers, right? It's kind of like, you're OP as fuck! As he's flying away like Team Rocket. By the way, So I stopped caring and slightly stopped paying attention. Doom did not die, or did he? Doom was beaten.
I'm fairly certain he was just beaten and retreated, but I think that's it.
Good God, I love it. Oh no, I could chase after him, although technically, yes, the world was ending. But still, it's really funny how they just dropped that so hard. That's what I'm saying, like, Doom felt like such a fucking afterthought. Like, if he wasn't in the film, it's funny, if he wasn't in the film, you could have taken all of his, like, the budget for the actor, everything. Now, I know they tried to set him up for a return here, but still, the point is that they could have just set up that he's alive. Anything. Excuse me. They could have set up that he was alive, but he was not doing anything. But no, they end up, just like having him, be around, right? They give the actor, not that I wanted the actor not have any work, because I didn't hate him as Doom. But you don't have the actor, you don't have him needing to ride the board, you don't have the costume. So much you could have saved on. I don't know how much, to be fair. Again, I don't know how much he was paid, but just taking money and putting it into Galactus' thumb. That's all we needed, man.
Pretty much.
That's all we fucking needed, man. Just a hand going over the Earth. And him going, no, and then blowing himself up. I mean, as much as blowing himself up was fucking stupid, it still would have been nice if there was a fucking actual hand over it. Go on.
No, I was going to go to the same place. Like, if we could have just had the giant hand and, like, a giant shadow over the Earth, that would have been enough. We didn't need the body. The head is arguable, but I think the hand would have just gotten the point across perfectly.
Yeah, if it's just like, look, we don't have the budget, but here is what we can do.
We can make a great-looking hand.
Yes. I actually thought they really killed Sue. I said it earlier, but I really thought they killed Sue. And I was so frustrated, man. So this is the end that pissed you off completely, and everyone. And so because did you think Sue was dead?
Not really.
Okay. But did you think she'd be brought back like
in
that?
In the same movie? Oh, no, not really. I mean, I knew it was going to happen in that movie. I didn't think that was going to be the way it went. But at this point, I don't know how much worse it could have gone. So.
Yeah. So the ending really was shit personified, though. I mean, I have to completely complain about, because if the ending happened somewhat differently, I would have actually sat back and gone, you know what? People complain about this movie, and I see where they do. Some of the family drama was forced, and et cetera, all we've been saying to the podcast, and you've been agreeing. You haven't been talking a lot, but you've been agreeing, so thank you. It sucks, too, because sometimes our notes will clash like that in a good way.
Yeah.
Right? Although in this case, good about negative things. So I have a question for you. By the time everything wrapped up, did you actually care about the surfer being alive?
Yes and no. It was to the point where I'm like, look, I just want to get out of this fucking movie theater.
Did you think there would be a third one?
What happened?
I know that the hindsight now, it's like, oh yeah, there would never be a third one. But at the time, because you saw it at the time, did you think there would be a third one?
I didn't think there'd be a third Fantastic Four. Strangely enough, I thought we were going to get a Silver Surfer spinoff.
Maybe that's what they were trying to go for, with all their fucking Deadpool shit that they've also before some people haven't enjoyed the newest Deadpool movie. Not that they've hated it, but they don't enjoy the interpretation of the character. I did, and you did. A lot of people did. Clearly, with their fucking with the money they're making, clearly people enjoyed it. But point is that I meant Deadpool shit as in origins.
Yeah.
Trying to be like, yeah, we'll have this turn into a Deadpool movie.
Yay.
Yeah. So I think it was them going, this will turn into a Silver Surfer movie, yay, and I just didn't.
Now, would you have actually wanted that?
Honestly, with this interpretation of the character, yes. Silver Surfer in space. Also, seeing what the comics can do with Silver Surfer in space, yes.
Yeah.
Again, hindsight, yes. I don't know about at the time, because I didn't even see the movie at the time, so I wouldn't have known the greatness of Silver Surfer. Nor had I read any Silver Surfer comics, nor would the newest Surfer series been out at the time, obviously. So a lot of stuff going into it, at the time I think, but hindsight, yes. I would have loved a Silver Surfer movie. Would you have?
Absolutely. Silver Surfer was my favorite thing about the movie. Even before it, the marketing was like, this looks amazing. I remember it was the first trailer that actually showed a lot of the sequence of Johnny chasing him. And scene where Surfer, they were in the tunnel, I believe, and Surfer went through the board, riding it upside down. I was like, oh shit.
Trailers make things look good. Am I right?
Yeah, and I hadn't read any Fantastic Four or Surfer at the time, so I literally went, I need to know everything about this character right now.
Well, I mean, that's one interesting thing. Usually, they boost comic book sales, which is why Marvel would love having Fantastic Four running around the same time that the movie did. However, not this one, not the new one.
Not at all.
No, 2015.
Let's kill them all.
Basically, yeah. Are they still dead?
I honestly don't know.
I know that they don't have their own book anymore. That we can confirm.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with them. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Marvel Comics as a whole, but that's for another thing. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's so sad. You and I were such huge fans. You more so than I, but huge fans, and then just kind of dropped off when they're like, but what if we do this? And I'm like, look, guys, you really could have just kept what you were doing going for another 2-3 years before having to do something like this. Not sure why you think you need to reboot everything.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's once they started rebooting everything, I just dropped off.
Oh, so did I.
Yeah, not even because it's funny. Saying something's all new, all different, super mega fantastical technically wasn't a reboot, right? It's the second they were just like, but these Secret Wars will put all the universes together. And it's just like, all right, I'm done. You have a nice day.
And then we're going to start up the new stories before that even ends.
Did they really?
Yeah, they really did.
They've done that before, too.
I
like,
know.
They've been pretty out of order. Like, I know we make fun of DC. We make fun of DC for when they were delayed in their Forever Evil, they didn't delay anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think technically is still a thing. Like, I mean, granted, Forever Evil's not around, but, like, they didn't delay other things. Or, like, Justice League was also, like, it was like, I think they delayed maybe only Justice League, but not something else. So you were literally able to read stuff on Forever Evil before Forever Evil even fucking came out.
Yeah.
Anyway, which made some of the story stuff completely thrown off. But anyway. Yeah, good God, I can't believe they fucking did that, for fuck's fuck. Well, we can't just not have any stories during that time, then maybe don't actually do that. Or condense it, which, again, you wouldn't, because, no, we need to sell more comics. Again, I understand you sell comics, but if it's a problem, or you do what Flashpoint did.
Yeah.
Which, did they do anything like Flashpoint or no?
I don't believe so.
What I mean by that, more so, if anyone is a little thrown off, is just the idea that, because maybe I'm getting it wrong, I'm referring to the idea of basically going, well, if we're going to combine universes, let's have a point when they aren't as combined and give you alternate stories, if you will. So so in other words, I mean, like, let's say it's before we finish on, this is the new Spider-Man, right? This is the new rebooted Spider-Man. It would be something like, what if Spider-Man and Gwen Stacy were still together or something? And do that for an issue before having Secret Wars end. I know they've done shit like that before, but, like, still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just something to keep the time.
It was literally just like all new Thor #1. Meanwhile, we're still on Secret Wars 9 of 12.
Motherfuckers.
So there's no fucking tension left in this battle at all. We already know who's going to win.
Oh, my God, that's right. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's end this right here. So next week, we should be doing, next week you and I should be doing other Friday Night Movies, Fantastic Four 2015, and then we're moving on to some greener pastures.
Yay.
We can't talk about it yet, but it's going to be great, man. Gnarly. Cowabunga.
God damn it, I was about to do that.
No one sees my hands right now. But no, it's going to be fun, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'm actually, for once in my life, I'm reading up comics around the time the thing we're doing was released to try and really get a feel for it. Because, for what we're going to do, which is still not talked about yet, there's a lot less comics surrounding it compared to something like Fantastic Four, where it's just, it's like, so how do I find out more about the Fantastic Four? Well, start from 1967, and then And I'm like,
work your way up to 2014.
Yeah, and I'm just like, well, no, to 2005 at the time. Remember the first movie? And then read the next 2 years' worth of comics. Okay, it's only like 24. And all their tie-ins, fuck.
24.
When did it been?
They were bi-monthly, dude.
Oh, they were?
Yeah. You're
fucking
looking at, like...
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fucking fuck. Wait, Fantastic Four or everything was at the time?
Almost everything.
In 2007? 2005?
Yeah.
2006? For fuck's fuck. Good God. I'm looking at comics now, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness, it's one a month.
If even.
Right. For some, it's just like, oh, no, we're delayed. We're delayed as fuck. How delayed are we? About as fuck. That's how delayed we are. Oh, my God. But, so we have nothing else to say about this shit show of a movie. And it's funny, it's not as bad as people said, but at the same time, in no way does that make it good.
Yeah.
What?
I was going to say that's not saying much, though.
Yes, in no way does that make it good. There are some moments, and that's all. Like that's Matt Marrero. Just there are some moments. My quote. If you had to have a review quote from this movie, what would it be?
You'll get about 10 minutes of a movie and about 100 minutes of dog shit.
By Anthony Sinandris. There's like really nice music in the background. Anyway, so we're going to wrap things up. We would like to thank you all for listening in, as always. And yeah, any final words before I do my social media shtick? My social media, all that stuff?
Not really. I don't give a shit about this movie.
Great. Happy to hear it. Okay, so again, thank you all for listening in. We have our merchandise for our podcasts and our Let's Plays on cafepress.com. You look up cafepress.com/TGOTR merchandise. Also, we have ourselves our main website, which is thoseguysontherradio.tumblr.com, our Facebook, which is /thoseguysontherradio, our Twitter, which is @thoseguysradio, our Instagram, which is also /thoseguysontherradio, and our Facebook. Did I already say our Facebook? I don't know anymore. Which is /thoseguysontherradio. It's one of those days, everyone. So those are our social media accounts. You can find our podcasts and our Let's Plays on there. Also, you can find our podcasts on iTunes by searching up Those Guys. Also, we are on YouTube as well. Our podcast is on Those Guys on the Radio YouTube channel, if you search that up. And our Let's Plays are on Those Guys Play YouTube channels. Currently, on Those Guys Play, if I was too quick, you, Anthony, you are currently teaching me the ways of the dark side via Star Wars Battlefront, one of our Let's Plays that we do. Those Guys Play Star Wars Battlefront. And I think, everything's coming along well. We're going to post some more of that soon so people can see my glorious transition into the dark side. Good stuff, right? Good stuff. So we have that going on. Also, we have Those Guys Play Season 2, where, we have a bunch of different games that we've played so far. Not just you and I, a lot of our other podcast hosts. We've played WCW Backstage Assault, WCW Mayhem. I have to call it that contractually. We've also played Disney's Dinosaur, Red Steel. You and I have played Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects. What? That's not random at all.
No.
It's pretty par for the course. So, we've played a lot of different video games. In Season 2, we've played Backstage Assault. We've played, as I mentioned, Disney Dinosaur and Red Steel. And we've also played, yes, you and I played Marvel Nemesis in this season, not last season. And we have a lot more episodes coming up as well. So definitely stay tuned for that. We also have Matt Beats Games from his childhood, where I, being Matt, beat games from my childhood, currently beating Mega Man X, and also some more of those on the way, not just Mega Man X, but a lot of other, video games that I've played in my childhood as well. So, a lot of fun stuff coming on Those Guys Play. Also weekly, we have TG News, the latest of the last week's episode, a little bit delayed, but coming out this week, and this week's episode coming out this weekend. So a lot of fun stuff, is coming out for TG News. You search up TG Productions on YouTube, or easier, you can just find TG News posts on our social media pages, and you get to watch our TG News show, very nerdy news show. And I think this week, in general, we're always going to have a good show. right? This week's going to be a good show. It's always going to be a good show.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those are all the stuff we have going on. That's all the stuff we have going on, and just keep on looking at us on our social media pages to see more of our podcasts that we'll be posting. Because while you and I, Anthony, will only be doing, the newest podcast will be the one we do next week, which is the Fantastic Four 2015 one, right?
Mm-hmm.
We still have some more stuff coming throughout the week. Just you won't be a part of it, sadly. It's sad, but it's true.
It's an imperfect world. We all have to make sacrifices.
Good fucking God. If you've seen
I know.
the Marvel Nemesis episode with this man, this man is a horrible human being, if you can call him that. Is that what you want to end this show on?
Why the fuck not, yeah.
Sometimes movies are imperfect and we all have to make sacrifices.
Like paying some money to actually see them.
Yeah. Good night, everyone. People paid for this. Good night, everyone.
Good night.